Unlock the miraculous secrets, a divine revelation 7 days before your life is transformed. In the heart of an English village, the air thick with faith and expectation, Mary held a flickering candle in her hands, its flame dancing like the hopes within her heart. Every Sunday, as the church bells tolled, a call to worship echoed in her soul. This was no ordinary moment, it was a divine summons, promising the miraculous in the days to come. With the flicker of the flame, Mary's heart raced. Could the promise of transformation truly be upon her? As she knelt on the worn wooden floor, her children surrounding her in a circle of innocent trust, the weight of their struggles felt immeasurable. Her husband's illness gnawed at her like ravenous wolves. Finances danced like shadows in her mind, whispering doubts, but every "Amen" from her children's lips ignited a flicker of hope. "St. Jude, we need you," she prayed defiantly, seeking the patron saint of hopeless cases. Then came the retreat at the chapel, a rustic haven embraced by ancient oaks. The pastor's voice rang clear, reverberating like the bells that called her to worship. "In 7 days, you will unlock a miracle," he proclaimed, his eyes shimmering with righteous fire. Did the heavens just break open? A thrill surged through Mary, igniting her spirit anew. She could almost hear the stir of angels as the promise of miracles seemed to linger in the air, heavy with possibility, but as days unfolded, Mary faced an unyielding storm. Each morning brought more signs of her husband's decline, a cruel irony when hope had been kindled. Doubt crept in, whispering that maybe miracles were just fanciful tales. Yet on a particularly bleak afternoon, amidst her children's laughter in the kitchen flour dusting their noses like angels' wings, an epiphany struck her. The aroma of freshly baked bread was like a divine call. She remembered her hidden talent for baking, and a spark ignited deep within. "Let us bake together, my loves," she announced, her heart racing with a newfound purpose. To enter the village baking competition was her hope's vessel, a prayer shaped in dough. As she prepared her creations, the village buzzed with tension. Some scoffed, dismissing her efforts, others rallied in support, uniting them all. The experience became spiritual warfare, hope clashing with despair, faith igniting flames of belief. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With the competition day looming, fear rattled within her, and despair threatened to steal her joy. Could her simple baking be a vessel for the miraculous? Would this be about more than just vain success? Standing in her cozy kitchen, time felt suspended. Prayer filled the air as she whispered to God, pleading for direction. The village gathered, hearts pounding with anticipation, aware that something extraordinary was stirring. As whispers of hope swirled through the air, Mary felt a rush of divine expectancy. Could this be the moment when her faith would bloom? What would happen in the space between love and doubt, between her dreams and the ticking clock? With breath bated, the villagers stood ready, their eyes fixed on Mary, poised at the edge of their collective miracle. The sun rose over the village, bathed in golden light, breaking the darkness of the night like the dawning hope in Mary's heart. This was the day, a day of possibilities, of prayers rising like incense to the heavens. As she stood before her kitchen counter, the sweet scent of dough wafted around her, intertwining with the whispers of encouragement from her children. "Is it ready, Mum?" Her youngest, Lily, chimed in, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. Mary smiled, her heart swelling with warmth. "Just a little longer, my darling. Good things come to those who wait." The kitchen, usually filled with the gentle hum of conversation, was now quiet as a gathering storm. Outside, the village buzzed with activity, each person preparing in their own way. Mary felt their energy, an electric charge in the air, and for a moment, she hesitated. Was she truly ready? As the weight of expectation hung thick, she took a deep breath, sending a silent prayer to St. Jude for strength. As the hours passed, she witnessed the melding of faith and fear. Each knead of the dough became a prayer, releasing her worries into the ether, each swirl of flour creating a holy refrain. The laughter of her children mingled with the hum of the village, amplifying the growing sense of community. Yet beneath that joy lurked shadows, doubts that clawed at her heart. Would her creation be enough? With every rise of the dough, Mary recalled the pastor's words. In 7 days, you will unlock a miracle. They echoed through her mind like the tolling of church bells, awakening something within her. She sensed that this baking endeavor was more than just a competition, it was a lifeline, a spark that might light her family's path through the darkness. With determination firm in her heart, Mary began to add decorations to her finished pastries, each swirl of icing not just a sweet touch but a reflection of her love and faith. Souls of the village guided her hands, memories of warmth and laughter, moments shared during joyful feasts and gatherings. The spirit surrounding her felt palpable, weaving together their ties of love and support. As she stepped outside, carrying her creations adorned with blooms of icing, a hush fell over the gathering crowd. Curious eyes flickered with hope and uncertainty. Neighbors who once doubted her smiled with renewed encouragement. The air vibrated with unspoken yearning, a collective prayer poured forth from their hearts, a yearning for the miraculous. "Let us lift our prayers," called out the pastor, his voice rich and saturated with spirit. The crowd nodded and stepped closer, as if bound by an invisible thread. Mary could feel the surge. This was what togetherness felt like. A chorus of voices rose, each one a note in a divine symphony. With every prayer, every passionate plea for the miraculous, Mary felt a wave of inexplicable peace wash over her, a grace that soothed the anxiety gnawing at her heart. God was there, within that moment, in every flower particle dancing in the air, in the laughter of her children, in the embrace of her neighbors. Then, with bated breath, the village held its collective heartbeat, as one by one, the pastries were sampled. Each bite reflected hope and love, an offering of faith wrapped in sweetness. Mary held back her anxiety, watching the faces of those who tasted her creations. But what would they say? Would their reactions confirm her belief, or would her fears take flight? The joy that livened the crowd felt electric. And just when Mary was about to release her breath, a child gasped, eyes wide with wonder. "Mom! I think I taste a miracle." What would this discovery mean for her family, and for everyone gathered there? Would the truth of her hopes resonate longer than the sweetness of her pastries? Stay tuned as the whispers of faith continue to ripple through the village. The child's words hung in the air, a delicate promise woven into the very fabric of the gathering. Mary's heart raced, filled with a mixture of fear and exhilaration. What did this child feel, that she could taste a miracle? Could it be true? The crowd erupted in murmurs, eyes drawn to the young boy. A miracle. They echoed, their voices rising like fragrant smoke from burning incense. Darkness began to lift as hearts slowly opened, each amen a little rock of faith thrown into the river of their hopes. In that moment, the atmosphere shifted, vibrating with a collective energy that sent shivers down Mary's spine. "Let me taste." Another child cried, reaching for one of the pastries. Soon, the adults joined in, hesitant hands breaking a few delicate pieces, sharing them with neighbors. Each bite ignited smiles. Faces lit up with childlike wonder as past doubts began to dissolve like sugar in tea. Mary felt as if she were on the cusp of something grand. A whisper brushed against her spirit, reminding her of her part in this divine encounter. Everything she had poured into her pastries, the love, the prayers, the very essence of her struggle was unfolding into a reality that exceeded ordinary expectation. Perhaps miracles aren't solely grand events, she thought, observing the joy ripple through each face. Perhaps they live in the simplest acts of love. As laughter echoed around her, Mary's heart began to swell, and tears of joy shimmered in her eyes. She felt God's presence like a warm blanket, wrapping around the village in sweet comfort. Each giggle, each smile, every heartfelt exchange was a testament of faith, a celebration that they were not alone. But a flicker of doubt still lingered like a shadow at dusk. Were her efforts truly worthy of such awe? She hesitated, willing to stand back and let this moment wash over her. Yet, the pastor called out, inviting everyone's attention. This moment, he said, his voice a steady beacon, is not just about pastries. It's a reminder. A reminder that our faith, when blended with love, transcends our fears. God is among us. The crowd nodded, hearts pounding in symphony. Mary felt hands take hold of hers, neighbors lifting her spirit as they declared their hopes aloud, hopes she sometimes doubted within herself. As the gathering slowly began to disperse, they carried a taste of life with them, a spark ignited from a simple display of devotion. Mary braced herself against the world outside, where every face mirrored her own inner journey, a landscape of faith colored by hope's brush. What's next for us? She asked, feeling the thrill of uncertainty dance around her. In the quiet moments that followed, she understood, a journey had begun that would take her beyond baking, into realms of possibility she had been too afraid to imagine. Each person moved on with pieces of the miracle held close to their hearts, but Mary's mind was alive with questions yet to be answered. Could this truly be the beginning of something extraordinary? She murmured to herself as she gathered her things, the remnants of celebration scattered about her feet. And in that moment, deep in her heart, she knew, the beauty of this day was merely an invitation to explore the depths of faith yet to come. But what awaited her in the unfolding days? What divine adventure would emerge from this taste of miracles? Mary stepped out into the crisp evening air, the twilight sky wrapping around her like a gentle embrace. There was a fire in her spirit that danced with each step, ignited by the joy she had witnessed. The village seemed alive, pulsating with expectancy, as though the very earth beneath her feet hummed with divine potential. Just ahead, she spotted a group gathered around the well. Laughter and conversation spilled into the air, a vibrant chorus that made her heart swell with gratitude. She joined them, eager to hear what was being shared. It was a tale of hope. One of the villagers spoke of a barren field that had unexpectedly bloomed with flowers after a long dry season. Isn't it remarkable? One woman exclaimed, eyes glistening. Just look at how God works through the impossible. What was lost can truly be found again. That statement echoed deep within Mary's heart, sending ripples of inspiration coursing through her. She hadn't realized that her small act of baking had unleashed a wave that connected with others, encouraging them to reveal their own miracles. With each story shared, Mary felt chains of doubt breaking loose. A weight fell from her shoulders, replaced by a lightness that felt utterly divine. She thought of her own struggles. This miraculous taste she had gifted had not only filled bellies but had awakened spirits. Perhaps we all carry miracles inside us, she whispered, more to herself than to anyone else. They just need the right moment to bloom. As she leaned in to listen more intently, an elderly man spoke up, his voice trembling with emotion. You see, each act of kindness is like a seed. It may seem small, insignificant even, but given the right circumstances, it can bring forth a mighty harvest. His hands gestured, animated with the fervor of unshakable faith. Mary's heart raced. What if her humble pastries were just the beginning? What if she could cultivate a garden of heavenly acts, nurturing them until they flourished beyond her wildest dreams? The group fell silent, nodding with understanding. In their silence, Mary sensed a shift, each individual felt the weight of a shared responsibility. They were all part of a larger tapestry, woven together by hope, intertwined by faith. As dusk settled around them, Mary felt the urge to speak, her voice trembling like the fluttering leaves of a tree. What if we could create a space for everyone to share their gifts? The thought erupted from within her like a bubbling spring. A gathering of our talents, where we inspire each other to reach deeper and blossom brighter. Shocked murmurs filled the air, eyes wide with the beauty of her vision. A small boy tugged at her sleeve, his bright eyes twinkling innocently. Can I show my skills? He asked eagerly, hands forming tiny gestures of a puppet show. Her heart warmed. Each individual, no matter how small or large their talent, could make waves of change. This was the miracle Mary envisioned, an awakening of potential, an exploration of gifts bestowed upon them by the divine. As night deepened, Mary looked at the assembled faces around her, illuminated not just by the fading light, but by the glow of promise flickering in their eyes. She felt like a vessel, filled with a fire that could no longer be contained. "What if we each committed to share our light in the coming days?" she proposed, her voice rising with excitement. "What if we let our gifts weave together, strengthen one another, and unlock the miraculous? Imagine what could unfold." And in that moment, a collective realization dawned upon them, stimulating a shared, unspoken agreement. They would take steps forward, together, allowing faith to propel them into unexplored territories, yet, as joy blended into the night air, questions lingered. How would they unfold their gifts? What would this collective journey ask of each of them, and where would it lead? As stars began to peek through the vastness above, Mary felt the stirring of anticipation. The first flutter of butterflies surged within her, each one whispering secrets of tomorrow's divine promise. "Only time will reveal the wonders hidden before us," she mused, heart beating in rhythm with the dreams yet to come. "But what will our steps toward a greater miracle truly look like?" The glow of the stars twinkled overhead like scattered blessings, infusing the night with a sacred energy. Mary's heart was light, bubbling with the possibilities that danced in the fresh air. She felt the warmth of unity surrounding her, hope wrapped around each villager, connecting them in a symphony of shared dreams. As the laughter faded into soft murmurs, she felt compelled to ground their collective vision in a tangible plan. "Let us meet every evening this week," she suggested, her voice steady, "right here at the well. We can share our gifts, tell our stories, and inspire one another." Excited whispers rippled through the group. A farmer, his eyes filled with grit and hope, spoke first. "I know how to tell tales that inspire. I could share stories of my crops and the earth's wisdom." "I'll bring my sketchbook," chimed in a young woman, her hands clutching the well's edge. "I want to draw our stories, to capture the moments we create." Encouragement spread like light illuminating the darkness. An elderly lady, known for her nurturing spirit, nodded enthusiastically. "And I can teach us to cook. Let us bake bread together, feeding our spirits as well as our bodies." Mary felt her heart swell anew. Each voice, each idea, was a thread weaving the tapestry of their gathering. It was not just about individual gifts, it was about the joy of community shining together, a kaleidoscope of talents reflecting the divine. As the group began to disperse, anticipation filled the air. They promised to bring their best selves, to show up with open hearts each evening. Yet in the quiet moments as they scattered back to their homes, Mary couldn't shake the feeling that something deeper was stirring within her. Was this gathering merely a time of sharing, or was it the beginning of something more profound? Each face she saw, every bright eye and eager smile felt like a piece of an unfolding miracle. The coming week was filled with activity and preparation. Mary busied herself, praying for guidance and clarity. She felt ever so slightly overwhelmed. Was she truly capable of leading this endeavor? On the third evening, Mary noticed a change in the atmosphere. The air felt charged with anticipation as villagers began to gather. They came not only to share their gifts but to see what God might construct from their collective offering. Just as they settled around the well, a palpable energy swirled among them. It was as though something unseen was nurturing their connection. Mary took a deep breath, soaking in this feeling of unity, gratitude swelling inside her. In that moment, a stranger approached. A quiet man with gentle eyes, he stepped into the circle, shy yet earnest. "I heard whispers of this gathering and felt drawn to come," he said, his voice soft but resolute. "I have a gift for telling stories that heal." The crowd leaned in, captivated. Mary felt that familiar flutter of butterflies again, a confirmation that this was indeed meant to be. The revelation inspired warmth and a spark of divine wonder within her. How could this stranger feel the call to join them? With every shared talent, her heart resonated deeper with God's voice. She envisioned walls breaking down, fears melting away, letting faith flourish. The divine was painting colors in their efforts, shaping their offering into a masterpiece beyond their understanding. What will become of us in the days to come? She pondered, her eyes shimmered with excitement. What miraculous transformations await when we gather our hearts, our voices, and our spirits in faith. Mary couldn't wait for the sunrise. She knew tomorrow they would weave yet another thread into their beautiful tapestry. But would they be ready for the breakthroughs that were surely coming? As the stars sparkled above, yet another question hovered: what hidden gifts might arise, calling forth a miraculous revelation that could change everything? The sun rose with a golden promise, its light spilling across the village like blessings pouring from heaven's hands. Mary awoke with a renewed sense of purpose thrumming within her. The dreams of yesterday lingered, echoing the whispered promises of what was to come. She could feel the heartbeat of the community, the unison growing stronger in the warmth of the new day. As she made her way to the well, anticipation danced in her soul. Villagers were already arriving, their faces radiant, spirits lifted. Each person brought an invisible thread of hope, intertwining with others to create a vibrant tapestry of faith. They gathered as if learning to harmonize in a grand chorus, each note vital to the greater melody God was composing. The storyteller of the night before was among them, ready to weave tales that promised healing. Mary felt a quiver of excitement race through her, hearts were drawn to the stranger as if he carried a vital light. She waved him over, eager to hear his story, to see how his gift would unfold within their circle. With a humble bow of his head, the man began. His voice, soft yet carrying weight and wisdom, broke the silence. Let me tell you a story of a traveler who lost everything. As the words flowed, Mary witnessed a transformation. The villagers leaned in, captivated. Every tale of pain transformed into a lesson soaked in love, trust, and eventual hope. The warmth in the crowd grew palpable, wrapping around them like a cocoon. Eyes sparkled, tears mingled with laughter, hearts transformed as they shared this sacred moment together. In each story that followed, they began opening up, too, sharing their struggles and triumphs. Mary felt grateful to be part of this divine exchange, which was igniting a fire of connection. Little did they know, each word spoken healed not only individual wounds but also filled the cracks within their community. I lost my husband, one woman shared, her voice trembling yet powerful. Yet it was in the silence of grief that I discovered God's whisper guiding me. The stories flowed like a river, carving deeper paths of understanding and compassion. Mary felt every story resonate within her, echoing divine truths. What if these stories become the very bridge that draws us all closer to heaven? She wondered, light bulbs of insight igniting in her mind. As darkness fell, the gathering around the well was illuminated only by the flickering light of lanterns. Suddenly, a voice arose from the back. It was the farmer, his joy overflowing as he exclaimed, "Let us not just tell stories. Let us create something tangible, too, together." His excitement was infectious. The crowd erupted in a chorus of agreement. Plans started forming for a community garden, a symbol of renewal and shared purpose, a testament to the miracles that could spring forth from their combined efforts. In her heart, Mary brimmed with hope. They were not just planting vegetables, they were cultivating faith, nurturing dreams, and sowing the seeds of connection and love. But what if we go deeper? She thought, her spirit stirring with possibility. What if this garden is not just a physical place but a sacred space where miracles unfold? The promise of tomorrow hung in the air like the scent of blooming flowers, and she could hardly contain her excitement. What sacred movements could arise from their gathering? There was an unshakable sense that they were standing on the brink of something monumental. As they left the gathering, laughter and joy echoed through the night, leaving traces of divine energy behind. Mary felt the question once more stirring within her. What miraculous layers of our community will be revealed as we continue this journey together? And what other secrets might unfold when we lean into our gifts? She knew one thing for certain, answers were coming, and she couldn't wait to explore them under the grace of the next night's full moon. The dawn broke gently with soft rays spilling through the clouds, casting a warm glow over the village. Mary awoke filled with a bubbling joy, her heart echoing the vibrant plans for the garden. A deeper vision tugged at her spirit, urging her to quiet her mind and seek guidance from the one who had stirred such fervor among them. As she stepped outside, the fragrance of dew-kissed grass filled her lungs, bringing clarity. This garden was not merely a plot of land, it had become a symbol, a canvas for the community's shared faith and dreams. People would gather there, not just to tend to plants but to nurture their souls, cultivate relationships, and forge connections deeper than roots. With a purpose weighing lightly on her heart, Mary strided toward the well once more. Today felt special. The villagers, ready and eager, assembled with shovels, seeds, and an abundance of love. The air thrummed with anticipation, laughter spilling forth like music, weaving through the morning mist. Before the work began, Mary felt compelled to say a few words. Standing on a low stone that framed the well, she cleared her throat, lifting her hands to draw their attention. As silence fell over the group, a gentle breeze danced through the gathering. "Friends," she began, her voice steady yet filled with warmth. "This garden represents our journey together. It is not just the vegetables we will nurture but our very lives and faith." A murmur of agreement rippled through the crowd, smiles sparkling like stars against the blue sky. "We will plant not just seeds but dreams. Each plant will carry the hopes of our shared stories. Just as we have shared our vulnerabilities, let us sow with the same intention of love." Encouraged by her words, the villagers nodded, determination lighting their eyes. They formed pairs and small groups, eager hands reaching for trowels and soil. The earth before them was dry and hard, resisting their touch, much like the struggles they had faced together. Yet, with each shovel of dirt, laughter broke free, and optimism cracked through the surface. As the morning turned into afternoon, Mary noticed the storyteller standing a little apart, watching with a smile that spoke volumes. She approached him, curious. "What wisdom do you hold?" she asked, knowing he must possess insights yet to be revealed. He leaned closer, his voice a soft whisper. "In every story lies a seed, waiting to be planted. Just like this garden, every life has the potential to bloom and bear fruit when tended with love and faith." Mary felt his words settle within her, a quiet truth resonating deeply. They exchanged knowing smiles before returning to the rhythm of work, planting seeds, digging holes, and laughing together as their hands grew calloused and dirty. With every seed placed into the earth, Mary envisioned more than vegetables. She envisioned a sanctuary of trust where the villagers could gather, share their stories, and feel the presence of something greater among them. The whispers of faith threaded through the air, binding them closer, illuminating invisible pathways leading to one another's hearts. As day turned to twilight, Mary took a step back to admire the garden emerging before her, a melange of soil and spirit. It was more than a plot of land, it was a declaration to the heavens. But as they all stood back, a strange hush fell over the group, a weighty anticipation mounting. A flicker danced within Mary's heart. What if this garden holds more than we realize? She pondered, an exciting tension tugging at her. Little did they know, the seeds they were planting went beyond their earthly realm. Wonders awaited below the surface, mysteries intertwined with their every action, waiting for the right moment to blossom. What would these revelations bring? What divine surprises lingered just beneath the soil? As the first evening stars began to twinkle overhead, Mary couldn't help but wonder what miracles were waiting to be unlocked within their sacred space. The stars twinkled above like God's multitude of promises, casting a serene light upon the villagers. The air was still, yet charged with a holy expectancy. Mary felt the warmth of those around her, each heart an echo of fervent dreams and unspoken hopes. Though their hands were weary, their souls were filled with a vitality that seemed to pulse from the fresh soil. As they gathered for a moment of rest, Clara, a gentle soul known for her unwavering faith, called out from the edge of the garden. "Mary! Come here, will you? I think we should pray over our new garden." Her eyes sparkled with fervor, as if she could already see the fruits of their labor. Mary smiled and nodded, her heart swelling with gratitude for such a devoted community. Together, they formed a circle, their hands intertwined, a tapestry of solidarity. Clara began to speak, her voice steady and soothing. "Heavenly Father, we thank you for this earth and the seeds we are about to plant. May they grow strong and healthy, nourished by our love and faith. Let this garden be a sanctuary for all who seek you. As the prayer wove through the air, an unexpected breeze swept through the garden, rustling the leaves of nearby trees. It felt as if the divine presence joined them, a whisper urging them to be still, to listen. When the prayer ended, a shared silence enveloped the group. It was then that the storyteller spoke again, his voice low yet resonant. You know, sometimes the most profound truths are hidden beneath the surface, just waiting for the right moment to reveal themselves. His words hung in the air, and Mary sensed that more was to come. Like the seeds we planted, she mused aloud, her mind racing with implications. They carry life within, but they must first break open, surrendering to the soil to truly bloom. A knowing smile spread across the villagers' faces. They shared a collective understanding, an awakening that stirred within each heart. But Mary couldn't shake the feeling that this garden held a deeper secret, one waiting for the right moment to break through. Much like the seed sleeping in their earthy bed. As darkness settled and the stars shone brighter, the villagers began to drift homeward, each one taking a piece of the day with them. Mary lingered, feeling drawn to the garden, the sacred space that stood on the cusp of transformation. She knelt beside where she had planted her first seeds, laying her hands in the cool earth. Lord, she whispered, what wonders lie beneath this soil? What do you wish to reveal to us? In that moment of earnest inquiry, a subtle glow caught her eye. It was faint, yet undeniably present, emanating from the center of the garden. Her heart raced. Could it be? She thought, leaning closer. She felt a stirring in her spirit, a resonant vibration of hope and deep anticipation. Just then, a voice softly stirred the night. It was the storyteller's whisper from behind her. Mary, sometimes all it takes is a light to unlock the hidden mysteries. What will you do when the time comes to dig deeper? The question ignited a flame within her, a yearning to uncover whatever lay beneath. As she rose to her feet, her heart pulsed with both excitement and caution. She could not shake the feeling that their little community was on the verge of something magnificent. What awaited them beneath their sacred earth? What truth does the glow beckon them to uncover? Emboldened by faith, Mary's resolve settled within her. There was more to discover, and she was ready to explore whatever awaited them both in the soil and in their hearts. What miraculous truths might soon be revealed? The following day dawned bright and clear, sunlight spilling into the village like a soft embrace. Mary awoke, her heart still lit by the glow she had seen in the garden. It was as if the light had seeped into her very being, fueling her heart with hope and wonder. As she joined the village for breakfast, her mind raced. The morning chatter surrounded her, but Mary's thoughts were wrapped around that glimmer of divine promise. What if, she pondered aloud, that light is a sign of what is to come? A revelation just waiting to be unwrapped. Clara's eyes twinkled over her steaming cup of tea. Mary, dear, the Lord often speaks to us in the most unexpected ways. We must be bold enough to seek His wisdom. Her calm reassurance settled Mary's restless spirit. After breakfast, Mary gathered a few villagers. Let us return to the garden today. I feel there is something special we have yet to uncover beneath that soil. There was a collective nod of agreement. They made their way back, hearts intertwined with curiosity and faith. As they approached, the garden looked almost alive, as if it hummed with anticipation. Mary led the group to the spot where she had first noticed the glimmer. Kneeling beside the freshly tilled earth, she closed her eyes and took a deep breath, inviting the serenity to wash over her. Just then, she heard the gentle rustling of leaves as if the garden itself was whispering secrets. Let us dig here, Mary said, pointing to the spot where she had perceived the light. The villagers rallied, hearts pounding with excitement, shovels in hand. As they began to work, the soil surrendered easily, revealing rich, dark earth that smelled sweet and fertile. With each clump of soil they removed, the air grew charged with a sense of purpose. I sense something profound is beneath, Mary declared, wiping the sweat from her brow, and then there it was. A glimmering object, half buried among the roots. As they gently cleared away the dirt, a beautiful stone emerged, radiant in the light of day. Its surface sparkled as if the stars themselves had been captured within it. "Look at that!" Clara gasped, reaching out her hand to touch it. "This must be a gift from God." But as Mary held the stone, she felt something deeper, an invitation, a calling. Her heart beat faster. "What is this, Lord?" she breathed, feeling a warmth radiate from the stone, flooding her with a sense of divine purpose. The villagers circled closer, their expressions lit with awe. "What do we do with it?" one of them asked nervously. With eyes wide and filled with wonder, Mary knew this was not simply a treasure to be kept. "We must seek the meaning behind it. This is a sign for our community, a glimpse of His promises fulfilled." The air thickened, heavy yet electric, as the villagers sensed the weight of what they had discovered. Mary felt an urging within her, a direction to share the light of this stone with everyone who sought hope. What if this stone could connect us with people beyond our village? What if it carries the truth of God's love? As she spoke, her words hung in the air, vibrating with the fervor of collective hope. Each villager's heart echoed with a longing to share something sacred, a gift that had the power to heal, inspire, and unite. But in that moment, another thought flickered in Mary's mind. What trials lay ahead to fulfill this calling? What would it take to share this miraculous discovery with the world? With anticipation hanging like the morning dew, Mary held the stone to her heart. The mystery deepened, and so did her resolve. What journey awaited them with this divine token? And how would they carry God's light into a world desperate for hope? The answers seemed just as distant as the shimmering stars above. As twilight descended upon the village, Mary stood at the garden's edge, the radiant stone cradled gently in her hands. Its glow pulsed softly, a beacon of hope shimmering against the deepening twilight. Mary felt a surge of divine purpose fill her, as if God's whispers danced in the air all around them. What did this stone mean? What secrets lay beneath its luminous surface? The villagers gathered close, eyes wide and breath held, sensing that something significant was unfolding. Clara stepped forward, her heart full of faith. "Mary, this stone is a treasure not simply for us, but for the world." Her voice quivered with the gravity of her declaration, and the crowd nodded in agreement. The atmosphere vibrated with excitement, hopes intertwining like roots digging deep into the soil. "You're right," Mary said, her spirit soaring. "We have to share it. But how? How do we carry its promise?" Her heart beat rapidly, trembling with anticipation and a touch of fear. The future sprawled before them like an uncharted territory, beckoning them to step boldly into faith. An elderly woman, known for her wisdom, stepped forward and placed a gentle hand on Mary's shoulder. "Sometimes, the path reveals itself through unity by coming together in prayer and purpose. Let us invite our wider community, and those beyond, to see this stone, to witness its light together. It can become a rallying point for hope." Her words settled like seeds being sown, each ear absorbing the message. Mary nodded, her heart brimming with newfound resolve. "Yes. We can hold a gathering at the town square. We'll share the story of our journeys, how this stone found us, and invite others to bring their own tales of hope. We can create a space where everyone feels the power of community." Excitement crackled in the air as murmurs of agreement swept through the villagers. As they stepped back and began to spread the news, Mary felt a divine charge coursing through her veins. This was more than just sharing a stone, it was about awakening hearts. As dusk deepened, the villagers rallied in harmonious purpose, asking others to join them and share their hopes, dreams, and stories under the night's embrace. With each passing hour, the anticipation grew. Lanterns flickered alive as people from neighboring villages joined the gathering, each carrying fragments of struggles, yet each face alive with stories yearning to be told. The town square transformed into a sacred space, a canvas painted with the colors of their unity and shared faith. Soon, it was time for Mary to speak. Standing before the crowd, she looked out at the sea of familiar faces, lit by the glow of lanterns and the radiant stone that pulsed beside her. She felt God's presence wrap around her, and her voice broke through the hushed whispers. Friends, tonight we gather not just to celebrate this stone, she began, her heart surging with warmth. We gather to connect. Each of us carries miracles within waiting to be uncovered, waiting to bloom. A gentle hum swept through the crowd, resonating with their collective yearning. Let us share our stories, our struggles, our victories. Together, we can light a fire of hope that could echo far beyond these streets. Let this stone be a symbol of our journey and of God's faithfulness in our lives. As her words mingled with the night air, a deep stillness descended, punctuated only by the rustle of leaves and murmurs of prayer. The buoyancy of faith floated between them, a divine energy thrumming in harmony. Each voice that followed added to the growing chorus, their stories woven together into a tapestry of hope, light, and affection. Hours passed, yet no one felt fatigue. The air was alive with shared laughter, tears of joy, and words of encouragement. In that sacred square, the community felt stronger, connected by invisible threads that twinkled like stars overhead. Mary glanced at the stone, its glow intensifying as if responding to the collective spirit. The villagers grew bolder, sharing their dreams and fears, the weight of burdens they carried lightened with every word spoken. A mother spoke of her struggle to provide for her children, while a young man unveiled his fight against despair, and then, as each person shared, healed, and encouraged, Mary felt it a release, a divine exhale of breath. A realization rushed over her, this was the miracle whispered to her heart. Here, in the weaving of their stories, they had birthed a movement, one that could inspire change beyond their wildest dreams. As the night deepened, Mary and the villagers promised to keep meeting, to continue sharing their gifts, drawing in more souls, guiding them to the sacred stone and the divine calling it held. They would become vessels of hope in a world yearning for it. In the stillness of the night, Mary bowed her head, tears of gratitude spilling forth. Each tear was a testament of faith, elysium for her soul. "Thank you, Lord," she whispered, her heart soaring with blissful recognition. "You have shown us not just a stone, but a pathway leading to miraculous transformations within ourselves and within this world. We stand together faithful, steadfast, ready to embrace the wonders unwoven." The shimmering stone glowed with divine reassurance, a sacred promise that their story was only beginning. New adventures awaited, more miracles to unlock, each step brightened by the light of their shared faith, and as stars winked above, united in luminescence, Mary couldn't help but smile. The journey of discovery, of community, and of divine encounters had sparked, and they were ready for whatever new chapters awaited. But now, dear friends, this is the moment to show your support. You need to subscribe now and not miss out on the next exclusive faith stories that will ignite your spirit. Leave a like now to fuel our journey together, and comment below to share your reactions and testimonies. Your words matter, your journey matters. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation of hope and love. Let us carry this light together.